Alright, our tangram is built, but it's a bit boring to look at. So in this tutorial, we're going to look at adding some color. Let's go ahead and add a panel to your workspace that you'll be using quite often. In your menu bar up top, let's select Window. Choose Color. Notice you have a free floating panel. Let's go ahead and dock it to the side of our Properties panel. Click and hold down your mouse button on the uppermost bar of the Color panel. Drag the panel of the bar over to the left side of your Properties panel. When it turns blue, this means that you can dock it there. Once it does that, let go of the mouse. Your Color panel is now docked. This creates a drawer. Click the arrows in the upper right hand to collapse the drawer. Click it again to open the drawer. But notice how this takes up too much screen space. Go ahead and close the drawer by clicking the arrows again. Instead of expanding the whole drawer, just click the color icon. Notice how it's a much smaller window. Now, if you need to pull it out, you can always grab the move bar above the icons and drag it out to the left. And you can always redock it by dragging it back to the side, let it turn blue, and then let go of the mouse. Now, the color panel and the color in your toolbar are linked. Whatever happens in one happens in the other. Go ahead and select a shape on your tangram. The full square is the fill color of the shape. The outline square below is the stroke. The fill and stroke is a toggle. You can only be working on one at any given time. Right now, we are in the fill mode. To toggle to stroke, click the square outline below the fill square. This brings the stroke to the front. Any changes you make here will apply only to the stroke of your shape. Notice the multi-directional icon above the fill and stroke boxes. This will switch the colors of the fill and stroke. Go ahead and select it. You now have a black fill and a white stroke. Click the switch button again. Before we move on, let's go ahead and make sure that we have the fill shape selected. Make sure that it is on top. Below, you will see three other boxes. From left to right, the box with the slash through it means Remove Color or Remove Fill. Go ahead and click it. Your shape now has no solid fill, so it is revealing what is underneath. Whenever you remove a fill, but still have a stroke, it's similar to like having a wooden picture frame, but having no picture inside of it. You're able to see through it. Now, go ahead and click the black button. This will fill the shape with the default black. And click on white. Again, the white will fill it with the default white. Now, keep in mind that this works for whichever mode you are currently in. So, by choosing the Remove Color, you can remove either the fill or the stroke. Again, go ahead and make sure that you have the fill option selected. You'll notice the color breakdown of your fill right here. Now, because we chose a preset of print and CMYK, our color mode is displayed right here. You can see the breakdown of each color percentage used to create that specific color. Go ahead and grab one of the color sliders and then drag it to the right. Notice how it fills it with color. Go ahead and play with the sliders to see how colors are created. Yeah, it's kind of annoying trying to create a color this way. So notice the color spectrum bar on the bottom. Click and drag along it and watch your color sliders adjust. Wherever you let go of your mouse is the color that will stick. But again, you can always edit it by adjusting the sliders or the color spectrum bar. As a designer, this is a horrible way to pick colors. On rare occasion will you ever know the exact CMY breakdown of a color. So let's add one of the most widely used set of colors used by professional printers. In your menu bar up top, select Window. Go all the way down to the bottom, and you may need to press the dark arrow to see the additional items. Select Swatch Libraries. Select Color Books. For this, go ahead and choose Pantone Solid Coated. This is a common Pantone set used by professional printing companies when printing color on coated or glossy paper stock. This will create a free-floating panel. Now you can always resize it by dragging out the bottom. And just to make sure that your view is going to match mine, go ahead and click the hamburger icon for more options. Choose Small List View. This allows you to see both the swatch color and the Pantone number. Let's go ahead and dock it with our other color group panel. We're going to drag it between the paint looking palette and the fan. Now again, it should highlight blue as part of the docking procedure. You now have color breakdown, your Pantone book, and your color guide all in one group. Now, I don't often use the color guide, but just so you know, if you have a color selected, it will give you your various options of colors that go with it. You can find that here inside the drop-down area. For now, let's go back to our Pantone guide. Select each shape and apply a fill of any Pantone color just by clicking on a color. And make sure that you are in the fill mode, just drag and drop from the Pantone book onto any shape. Pretty cool, huh? And remember, you can edit them as much as you want till you find the right color that you want. Now finally, let's talk about the stroke. This is the line around our shape. Now, we're going to do this globally, but know that you can do the exact same thing per shape. However, this will be a lot faster. Let's go ahead and make sure that our selection tool is selected. Press V on your keyboard. Now, we're going to select all of our shapes by using our selection tool. We're going to click and drag a selection box around the objects that we want to select. You'll notice dotted lines as I draw the selection. Once I have everything inside that box, I'm going to let go of the mouse. With our object selected, look at our fill and stroke. The fill has a question mark. This means that you have more than one item selected that has a different color. But notice how the stroke is black. This means that all the strokes of the items you have selected all have the same color, black. Regardless of whether you have a question mark, we're going to make the stroke for all selected items white. So with all of your items selected, I want you to click the stroke to activate it. Select the white box. And boom, all of our strokes are now white. And let's do one more thing. We're going to thicken up that stroke. So with all of our objects selected, let's go to our transform panel and we're going to locate appearance. Again, notice the question mark for the fill. For stroke, I want you to adjust the point size to 6. Now let's just check one more thing with the stroke. Go ahead and click the word stroke to reveal its panel. Let's look at align stroke. For this, we want align stroke to center. This points 3 points of the stroke on each side, giving us a total of 6 points. 3 points on the left, 3 points on the right. If you choose the inside stroke, notice how much thicker it gets. That's because we now have placed all 6 points of the stroke on the inside of each shape. And when you have two shapes sitting next to each other, the 6-point stroke of one shape next to the 6-point stroke of another shape equals 12 points. I bet you never thought you'd have to do so much math in this course. Now, to compensate, you could just adjust to 3. And finally, the last one is add the stroke to the outside of the shape. Notice how things don't line up as easy. This is often true with very pointed shapes. So for now, make sure that you have 6 points and align stroke to center. Let's save your file. File, save, or Control S on your keyboard. Oh, one more thing. Go ahead and collapse any open panels that you have. Click the Workspace drop-down and choose New Workspace. Go ahead and name it, or perhaps GRD-151. This workspace with the color panels will now be a workspace preset you can choose from. And that's it. So great job on creating a Tangram with color-filled shapes.